So beautiful to see you. We were discussing yesterday about the merciful. And so I promised that we continue to speak about blessed are those who are pure in heart, for they will see God. That's the next one.
Louder.
Can you make louder? Please. Blessed are those who are pure in heart. Let's talk about the heart a little bit. That's the beginning, the first part. Blessed are those who are pure in heart. And then later, because they will see God. How many bodies you have? We know we have 3. Ordinarily we think we have 1 body. Now the question, how many hearts we have? We have 1. Something doesn't work so well. We have 1 heart or how many hearts?
More than 1.
More than 1 for sure, yes. So let's figure out what are these hearts. Everybody knows we have a physical heart. Where is it located? Somewhere here, more the left side. That's what Baba was telling us. So, now what about the other hearts?
Center.
The center. We have the emotion heart. There's an emotional heart. Place of emotion. Where is that located?
In the mind.
It's in the same area, but it is on the right side. Where there.
There's a saying, you should love God with all your heart.
Yes.
And we have the inclination to do good and the inclination to do not so good. But you should love God with all of that.
Yes, you should.
I don't know if you consider that too hard.
It will come, yes. We should love God with all our heart and strength and soul and mind. But the physical heart is on the left, the emotional heart is on right side.
People, they do something. They touch both of them.
Yes. So heart center is in the middle. No? Where we have how many chakras? 7. 7 major chakras. They are located in the spine. Heart center is in the middle. So now we have option. When we are in the middle, we have 3 different options how we live. Either we go below the heart. Second option, we can remain in the heart. And the third one, we can go above the heart. But each place gives us a different conscious experience. Now let's figure out, if we go below the heart, what happened to us? How we feel. Sometimes we go below, sometimes we remain in the heart, and sometimes we go up, above. Everybody knows. If we go below, getting engrossed in the material world, worries and many other things are associated with it. When we remain in the middle, sometimes excited, emotional, happy a little bit, but sometimes frustrated, the counterpart. So when we go upward, then we are more inclined to spiritual activities, religious activities, righteous living, like that. So that's a little bit about the heart center. You can read maybe more on the universe within. Now, the physical heart, the emotional heart. The emotional heart is the playground of the emotions. Now we have another place, another heart. We have an intellect, we have memory, we have mind, So emotional heart is the play of ego, but the other three play where? They play in the brain. They have their seat there. Intellect, mind, memory play in the brain. That is another type of heart. Ego, selflessness, possession takes place in the emotional heart. Now, of course, just a little bit to touch it, there's also, Baba was telling in this book about the yogic heart, the pranic heart. Where is that located? It is actually in the spine, and the dorsal, if I say correct, dorsal center. So that we need a little bit to know. Now, Gurudev said we should be careful of our hearts. We should, spiritual seeker has to be careful of the play of these hearts, because they can throw us left and right. Gurudev used to say sometimes, how do you say? You have to operate your heart and put it in your pocket. Something like that. It doesn't mean to be cold, no? But it has a meaning. No? Because we need purity in our hearts, in these hearts. It means purity in intellect, purity in mind, purity in memory, purity in emotions, in ego. So, blessed are those who are pure in heart. Guruji was also mentioning about one particular term that is used in Vedantic texts or in yogic texts, that is called the Hridaya Granthi. That means the nut of the heart that bounds us in the world and gives us bondage in the world. So, Hridaya means, or Hridi is the heart, and Granthi is the nut. This nut, what is this nut? It's not a physical nut. This is psychological, how to say? I don't know exactly. It's not a physical nut. So, how does it consist of what is the constituents of this heart? It has several constituents. Ignorance. We discussed yesterday about ignorance in the morning, no? Avidya. Karma, not karma. Karma means desire, and karma. That are the three ingredients that build this nut. So, what does that nut do? It binds us to the, the law of cause and effect. So Jesus said we have to keep it pure. We have to purify our lives. Because when we live as likes and dislikes, we cannot live a happy life. Cannot live a life of fulfillment, contentment. So, how to clean the heart? With soap?
Yes.
And that's a procedure. No? We have to clean it. First of all, we have to understand. Now we have that little bit understanding, but that is a tiny thing. The practice is always more emphasized. So, to know that I have an impure heart, that is the first step. If I don't know, then I will not have the intention to clean my heart. So, how to know that I have an impure heart? How can you know?
You're unable to love.
How you know that I'm sitting here? Introspection is the real answer. I need to look at my hearts. I need to guard them. If I don't do that, I living unconsciously and don't know that there are thieves, that they break in my house and steal the treasures that belong to me. And it's not about money, it is about the treasures of happiness and knowledge, the real knowledge of who am I. And they don't let me know that when these thieves come into my house. So we need to watch first. How can we develop that attention? Simple practice. The path of Kriya Yoga is described by the masters. And it is practical, it is simple. Baba said always, Gurudev, simplest, easiest, surest, best. That seems to be very business orientated. No? If you live like that in the world, everybody says, my product is the best. Buy it. But it is true. When I came, I had also little doubts. But when you practice, you begin to experience what the masters say. No? And so it is true. When we do our practice step by step, regular, we try to get it done more and more regular. We begin to see what the issue is within. Not with others, but with myself. Because I begin to know who are the thieves in me. And the thieves are not others. Because previously we were thinking with impure heart, you make me unhappy. You in my way of happiness. You are in my way of happiness. So we're always pointing out, usually ordinary people point out that way. But what the masters was telling us, how many fingers pointing at myself? 3. 3. So what is the simplest technique? Or
the best product?
What is the best product? What is the secret of all these things? Kriya, yes, it is intellectually, we say Kriya is a name, but what is the action we should do?
Awareness.
Breath. Pay attention to your breath. Just by beginning to watch your breath more and more, you begin to see the play of your hearts. Heart is mind, heart is intellect. You begin to see the flow of thoughts. What type of thoughts are flowing through your heart or mind, intellect, memory? What do you memorize? In ordinary, we remember the things what Guruji said that we shall not remember. Mind wants to think. Mind wants to do something. And so we have to occupy our mind with the things that we want the mind to think. That is a training. So what Jesus said, what the Master said, don't look at the mistakes of others. Look at your own mistake and then correct. And then done. Not to think about the mistakes of others, and also not always to look at your mistakes all the time and thinking, I am bad, I am bad, I am bad. Do you occupy your time constantly with stealing your energy, your motivation? So that means I need to know what to do. After I realized that my heart is impure, I can do the next step. What is the next step? When you have dirty clothes and you decide it's dirty, what you do?
Wash.
You have the option. You can go and wash it. Now, again, modern life and ancient life, it was different. Now it's easier. What we use for washing? Machine. So I don't have to do anything. I just give my clothes to the washing machine. In ancient time, we didn't have that option. And everything we had to do ourselves by hands. So what is easier? Giving the clothes to the washing machine and having some fun in the garden somewhere, playing in the beach, or go to the mountain, snowboarding, and let the washing machine do it. When I come home, just open, put in the dryer again. I don't need to do anything. What is better?
Washing machine, if gurus can wash us.
Washing machine. Washing machine. Yeah. So we come to that point. No? I just try to bring you to that direction. No? So, if you do everything yourself, forgetting gods and gurus and masters, how will be your practice? That is just something to think. No? Life will be difficult. Yes, difficult doesn't mean that there are no problems. No? But problems means dirty clothes, we have to wash our life, we have to solve different issues. Life is trouble, Jesus said that, but you can do it in peace. You have a problem, my clothes is dirty, I'm still in peace because I know I give it just to the washing machine. And then it is done. And I go snowboarding. If I want. Or go to the beach, whatever. So, who is the washerman? No, here in West we don't have a washerman that comes to your door and knocks and wants to ask, do you have any clothes to wash? It's not in West common. Huh? And I don't know, in India nowadays, is it there still? Washerman is still coming. Hotel, they have, okay. So the meaning is, the guru is the washerman. Santa Kabir, I think he said that. The guru is the washerman who washes the clothes. And the clothes is who?
Our mind.
The disciple. There's the play, the guru and the disciple. The disciple is the clothes, and the clothes or the disciple is the mind, the intellect, the ego. That is dirty, the hearts. That has to be corrected. But there's a need. You have to give the clothes. The disciple has to have the desire to give himself to the washerman. Although we may have a washerman, a guru, which is right here below us, in physical form, a washerman is present. But if we don't want that he washes our clothes, we can sit near the guru, but he cannot take the clothes if you hold on your clothes and wants to do it yourself. So that is a condition that we have to create in ourselves. We have to make that environment, that humility, that surrender, that agreement, the ripeness of mind has to be there, that I am tired of struggling, I want to give it to the washerman. I want to be free from that. So that choice God has given to us. The mercy, we said yesterday, cannot work for us if we don't want it. Out of ignorance, we don't know. No? But God is there giving us everything. The washerman is there to wash our lives. And we struggle trying to be free from anger, from pride, from jealousy. We try to want to cultivate all these things, but we forget the little thing that we have to do that together. It's not about me. It's about giving up myself in the hands of the guru, the we. Disciple and guru is there. So that is needed. In this book it is also there another contemplation, kind of analogy. Some sadhu said that a rich man, what does he hire? When somebody is rich, they hire a watchman, a guard. Why they hire? Why a rich man hires a guard?
wealth,
Yes, yes.
Huh?
his wealth.
Keep away the thieves.
To protect, for protection. To protect, because the rich man is usually afraid to lose money, so they have their bodyguards who take care of the president has bodyguards, So watchmen, but watchmen, how can the rich man get a watchman? He has to pay, so he has to have enough money to pay all these watchmen. That's again a symbol, what it has to do with us. We need a watchman.
Always.
But what is the need? The watchman will watch that the thieves don't steal the treasure in us. So Guru is the watchman, but we need to have enough money to pay the Guru that he will watch over us. So what is that money?
Love.
The devotion, that love belongs to the watchman actually. Love protects us from the thieves. And love is knowledge. Knowledge about the reality, knowledge about who am I. That is what protects us from the thieves that steal our happiness, our real happiness. So we need enough. Money means there has to be the qualification. Faith in the watchman, Shraddha, faith. And you can read it all in Tattva Bodha. Adichankaracharya nicely described the qualification of an adhikari, the one who is qualified to receive that self-knowledge. So that is what we have to understand. Nothing can happen out of nothing in this play, because sometimes we think it is all grace of God. Yes, it is all the grace of God, but in this play of grace of God, we have to qualify ourselves. Gurudev said, and give an explanation, what is Kripa? Kripa means grace, but he gave a special explanation always. Gurudev was special in these terms. He said Kri and Pa. Kri means, Kri? You have heard?
Kriya.
Kriya comes from, and Kri, to do. Do, and Pa means to get or to receive. So first you do your part, Kri, and then grace will manifest in your life. So you reach out to the Guru. Guru already there. Remember yesterday we were talking about this parable, the prodigal son, where the son left his father's home. That means God's consciousness. He left away from that knowledge, went into the world down below the heart chakra, engrossed in the material world, spending all his wisdom and knowledge, and became completely ignorant of his father's treasures. He didn't know that he is Satchidananda. Everything he lost completely, thinking I am the body, slowly getting so much engrossed that he had spent everything. There was no trace of self-knowledge left. Only I am, the little self, my. And then he regains slowly. I have to go home. Home means here. I want to go home in my father's abode and live with him again. So he repented. He realized I did a mistake. That's all what we have to do. We have to realize that we did a mistake, and then we can make the journey. To realize that I did a mistake, it is the beginning. Can ego realize that I did a mistake? Usually it is you did the mistake. But when I become slowly more humble, I realize that I did the mistake actually. It's not about others. It's all about my attitude. How do I look at others? How do I embrace others? God is the God of mercy, because he has love for all the people, for all the different creatures. And then, but I, the little one, it's all about me and not about you when it is manifesting more and more. So it's a selfish life, and we destroy not just our lives, but also our environment. We can see that very clearly. We're going towards that state where we slowly forgetting more and more God, getting engrossed in the material world and destroying the earth slowly until we reach a point where we realize maybe we should not go further. And that may come. But we have to realize our mistake. And then Gurudev said, mistake is not for the mystic, it is for the correction. That is all. So, we have to turn around inside, change your attitude. How to change? Try. It is said. Baba was telling, Guruji was telling, we have to try. The role of the disciple is only to try, to try, to try, to try, and grace will come to you itself. Knowledge will come to you itself. The washerman will do the rest. The Guru will do the work for you, will protect you, will guard and watch you wherever you go. Jesus was the shepherd for the lost sheep. We are like that. We are all the lost sheep. And he's looking for the last one. Until he has found all the sheep, he will not come to rest. So we have just to try. When we understand that part, Lord Krishna said the same thing in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, you are my disciple. But what is your role? You are qualified, an adhikari, you're qualified to fight, means to transform, but you have no right at all on the fruits of the actions, on your efforts. And they will come. They will come not because of you, they will come because of law of karma. And we know, as you sow, so you shall reap. That is for everybody the same. If you do a good life, you will get good future. But don't worry, we have to come back to Kriya now. What to do? Watch your breath. You guard your breath with the help of the Guru. Oh God, give me the strength to watch my breath and all the activities of life. Because life is a storm. It's a hurricane sometimes. It's sometimes less wind. It is a natural thing. It belongs to life. Storm and no storm, it is part of it, play of the two. And when we have our master with us, in us, which is already there, when we catch hold of it, and we are in the life, then we will have success. That is the promise of Lord Krishna, that is the promise of Jesus. So, we have to try together watching the breath. O Lord, O Guru, O Master, O Jesus, whatever, help me to watch all my breath during the activities, while I'm speaking, while I'm thinking, while I do all my work. Help me, help me. You are my strength. You are my memory. You are my everything. We pray that, Tvameva Mata, Chapita, Tvameva Bandhu, Chasaka, Tvameva. You're my best friend, you're my knowledge, my everything. So, that we have to try, and when storm comes, then the Guru is there, can help you. But if we forget, then we are like the disciples of Jesus. When they were in the boat, one day they were trying to cross the ocean, not the ocean, yes, symbolically they were trying, the lake, where Jesus was teaching. And so they went, and many boats were following. But Jesus was in the boat with the disciples, and then Jesus said, I go to bed. Let's say I lie down in the bag he was lying down taking rest in a pillow. It says, I don't know. It's funny. They had the pillow. So they were rowing the boat or whatever they did, and Jesus was resting there physically, at rest, but he knew what's going on all the time, because realized masters, they don't sleep really. Consciousness doesn't sleep. But then the storm came, and it was a terrible storm, and Jesus was resting in the boat, not doing anything. And the disciples were trying to save the boat, to get out of water, because all the water went into the boat slowly more and more, and they became more and more afraid because they couldn't control it anymore. At some point, they realized, we will sink if we don't go to the Master now and wake him up. And so they went to the Master and asked, help us. Don't you care, they said. I think something like that. And Jesus woke up and he just calmed down the storm in a moment's time. That's all symbolically, when we are in the world, forgetting Jesus or Master, Gurus, that they are with us. We have to do it ourselves. We struggle and we slowly may run out of energy. And we think, I can't control this anymore, my life. And it is designed by God like that. Otherwise we would never turn around, ask for the real help in us. So, to remember, it's up to us. Let's see, with the help of the Guru, please help me to remember the teachings of the Masters, the Guru, the scriptures. They are our guides, and it's our choice, let's say. When we are in the individual body, we feel that we have choice, and we have to choose. I want the help of my Master, or I don't want. That's up to you. God never refuses help. He's always ready. Gurus are always ready. So, heart. Blessed are those who are pure in heart, because they will see God. And here Master was telling in the book, that's not about God realization, but to see God in the form when we are here. To see God, to face God one by one. So there are different states. I can see God in all. Here, Master, when he sits, he can see you are all the same. He sees the divinity in all. But it can be also the way you want to see God. Your devotion is needed for that. Your heart, when it has to be filled with love and devotion for God and Gurus. Then you will see God the way you want to see him. And he said, where is not God? Where is God not? God is in front of all of us in many different names and forms. He himself manifested himself in many different names and forms, sitting face to face. I see many, you see me, but who is sitting in there? And he gave that example. You think of a humidifier. What does it do? When you imagine here, I don't know if you need it here in summertime, probably it's usually dry here, but you come to Gurudev's room, there's always a humidifier. It was always on. It's still on. What does it do? What is the job of it? It makes, it removes the invisible moisture. It dehumidifies. But it is there in the room, invisible for us. So and there will be water. When you have an AC, you can hear how the water runs constantly coming. There's no water in the air. We don't see. That doesn't mean it is not there. It's in a subtle form. Now the machine makes that invisible water visible. So similar, whatever we see is nothing than the manifestation of the invisible humidity, that is invisible. The invisible power of God becomes visible when it becomes more modified and gross. It becomes visible, and it's still the water. Gurudev, I think he was telling sometimes analogy like ice, water, and steam are nothing but the same manifestation of the living power of God, something like that. So, wherever I look, what do I see first? Form. And then comes thinking. There's a time. I see God in form, but usually when we are too engrossed in our head, mind, in the names, I may not see that I'm seeing God. At the same time, I'm thinking about God. I'm addressing God as a flower, or ice cream, or whatever you want. I'm seeing Adriana, right? Because I know your name. But when I forget, I'm seeing God with the name of Adriana in front of me. That is different approach. So we can train our mind, our understanding, purify it. Whenever I look, I see God as the manifestation. And when I meditate, I see formless God, completely formless. There's no form. When we go deep in our practice, I see God formless. Go really deep into the formless state. But now, when we here in the world and we play our role still, we see God in form with the names. That's time to come to an end. 5 minutes. What was it? 5 minutes. Yes, because we have a ceremony below. That's why we want to stop on time also. So to see God in all, that is part of our practice, to keep our mind more peaceful, clean. We need to learn to see. It is there already. It just needs training to remember it is who is in front of me. Not just Adriana or James or John. It is both name and God in form. So we see. That is practical. Wherever you go, not to think too high. It's a silent practice. You don't need to tell everybody that. But silently, your mind remembers, oh God, it is you. You gave me that person in front of me, that person that I love so much. Oh God, it is you. You gave me also that person that I hate so much. I have to learn both. In this play of duality. And the evil is my best friend that I created myself. The enemy is your best friend because it points out your weakness. That not you are the problem, that I am my problem. I see myself. The ego sees itself in others reflected.